And here's the other thing with the boys club. The holder count continues to go up even when the price is coming down. So that's inherently super bullish for whenever we get a move back up higher. If a coin is losing holders as the price is going down, that means you want to exit. That means you want to get out. Hype is over. People are leaving the project. There's not a lasting bid on it. There's not a lasting speculative interest in it. If you look at Andy, if you look at Wolf, Pepe, Brett, all these memes have been accumulating holders throughout this entire time. Andy has more holders than it's ever had before. It's not, the price is going down, but we're getting more holders. That means the community is growing. That means more people are becoming aware of it. More people than ever before are also aware that it's a leveraged Ethereum bet, which is important. Why? Because whales, people with large positions who typically would trade on a hyperliquid or some of these Binance, whales, etc., who would be trading on leverage, instead of risking liquidation, which I've already seen Binance whales and some other whales come into Andy and Wolf. We've talked about this in the past. They would one whale from Binance aped in 1.5 mil into Andy and Wolf just a month or two ago. So what these massive whales are going to do is they're going to pile back into Andy and Wolf, understanding that it's literally the same thing as placing a leveraged Ethereum long, except now you don't risk liquidation. Now, if you do get a pullback, if you do get some kind of news event that's inherently bearish in the short term, they're not going to get blown out of their position, and they can still get a 5, 6, 7x leverage long on ETH without actually longing it, which is huge. So the fact that more and more people know about that, now it's no longer just retail investors that are going to be interested in Andy and Wolf, but people with tons of liquidity, tons of money that can actually move these types of charts are going to come into Andy and Wolf understanding that it is a leveraged ETH. That's a huge advantage. Other meme coins don't have that. So it's just strictly going to be a hype-driven pump. Hopefully everybody's hyped up on it. They're going to pour into it. You can get these whales to pour into it in the short term. But once they decide to exit those positions, once they decide to lose, that project loses hype around it, just like Solana meme coins, then it's done. It's over. There's no more speculative bid on it. It's done. You missed it. Andy and Wolf, they're always going to have a bid due to the fact that they're leveraged ETH. So anyways, taking a look at Pepe, right? So we take a look at Pepe. I got this in log mode. First of all, it's obviously still been up only since January of 24 when it went on its massive bull run. Yeah, we've had pullbacks alongside of it, but here we go. I mean, obviously, it's clearly still an uptrend. So how do we determine whether or not the boys club is actually growing in value while the price of Ethereum is going down? So the easiest way to take a look at something like that is, well, what's the pair trade? Even if Pepe USD has been coming down this year so far, is the value of Pepe going up in comparison to Ethereum? That's what's important. If the value of Pepe in comparison to Ethereum is going up, that's why we hold Pepe instead of Ethereum, because Pepe is a better hold. So how do you take a look at something like that? Well, you look at the Pepe ETH pair chart. So let's take a look at that. As you were saying, the price of these coins in comparison to, that's market cap. Is this ETH Pepe?
Yeah, in comparison to ETH.
This is ETH BTC, so this would probably be it. Pepe ETH, yeah. So here's a different way to look at Pepe. If you look at the Pepe divided by Ethereum chart, now we're denominating Pepe in ETH, okay? So how much is Pepe worth in the denomination of Ethereum? As this chart goes up, that means Pepe is a better hold than Ethereum, okay? Well, take a look at this. What have we done since Pepe launched back in 23 in the bear market? We can literally just pull it from down here. Okay, obviously that's a huge diagonal to draw from the beginning, but obviously it's been up only. So if you've held Pepe from the launch of the project, no matter how many pullbacks we got, no matter how much bleeding we got, we come back to the boom, pump again, bleeding, pump again, bleeding. No matter where you've held it over time, it's appreciated in comparison to Ethereum. Therefore, you hold Pepe instead of ETH if you want to make more money this cycle. Well, that's important to understand, because if ETH Pepe continues to go up, that's your confidence that you continue to hold the boys club. Because if you think ETH is going to move up from where it's at right now, guess what? Pepe divided by ETH, even though the price of Ethereum is going up, Pepe is going to go up more, okay? So if you take a look at something like this on Pepe ETH, you see we're right back into this demand zone, right? So we could call it like right here. Can even tighten it up a bit. Oops.
Yeah, and I think while you're doing that too, it's important to just notice that whenever this chart is pumping hard, it's every single time that Ethereum's been performing well.
Right.
So it's like this chart makes perfect sense. You expect ETH to be able to handle the dips better and not experience as much downside holding something like ETH versus something that's levered.
Right.
Um, so whenever ETH is performing well, obviously Pepe is going to severely outperform it because that's its job. And then whenever we're in a bear market and things are moving to the downside, the whole reason maybe you would hold ETH is because you don't experience as much downside when we're moving down. So, you see like this chart pumped in like November into December. If you scroll over to the left a little bit, you can see it pumped hard in like March and April, which was whenever, Ethereum was ripping back at the beginning of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, this chart makes sense, and it shows that Pepe is doing its job.
Yes, exactly. It is doing its job. So that's why we're super bullish on these assets, because if you have $100,000 in your portfolio and you want to gain as many multiples as humanly possible, you can size into something like a Pepe with 100 grand very easily, very liquid. You can size in 100 grand into Andy and Wolf, and you're going to turn that 100 grand into a million, as opposed to that 100 grand in Ethereum and only turn it into 200 or 300 grand, right? So that's the whole reason we move further and further down the risk curve. So we take a look at this Pepe ETH chart. We say, all right, it's doing its job. It's holding up exactly where we want it to hold up. You're probably going to see this continue to do what? Reaccumulate, hopefully right in here. Okay. Reaccumulate, and then you're going to get what? This. That's what you're going to see happen towards the end of this cycle. You're going to see this blow off top. This move that you got right here. This massive move, which was back in, exactly where I thought it was, back when we did that 10X back in February of 2024. You're going to get this move not only on USD pairing, but you're going to get it on the Pepe ETH pair, which was what? A 7X. So Pepe gained 7X value in comparison to Ethereum. So that means it was a 7X leverage on ETH. So you do the same thing over here. 7X would have been right here. So we'll see Pepe have this one blow off top, this one last leg before the end of the cycle. Once we actually get an alt season, now you've outperformed Ethereum. Great. Pepe did its job. So yeah, that's very important to understand. Even with ETH USD going down, our meme coins that we're holding as leveraged ETH are gaining value against ETH.